I don't know why this thing ain't doing it. Give me let me see what he at. Hold on.
That's her. That's Hunter.
All right. Okay.
That's Hunter.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. And we're live today with our special guest, Dr. Candace the Hammer Matthews. She'll be joining us, and also Cornell X activist out of Houston, and a renowned activist. So let me tell you a little bit about Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. We are a platform to share information, important information, by educating Southeast African American communities with valuable information on health, education, financial, politics, business, awareness, all of it. We're there for you. I also wanted to let you share this with you is that we also on live on Facebook, Spotify, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, X, formerly Twitter, and Apple, iTunes, and Twits. Hello, Candace. How are you, my love?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. I'm also have my good friend Christopher Jones, or what you guys call him, Unc, and he's along with us, and we've got a huge audience today, and I want to kind of get here, and we're still waiting on Cornell X, right?
I think Cornell had a family emergency, so I don't think he's getting ready to come on right now. But
Okay.
regards
In
and
regards to that, okay. Well, let's get straight to business. Let's get straight to the bottom line. I want to get to the bottom line. What started the beef? Where let's get down to the beginning so that the audience can know what we're talking about and what's going on. Because we're talking about an activist here in Southeast Texas, Beaumont, Port Arthur, Orange, Liberty, Silsbee, Coons, Jasper, all around the Southeast Texas. And we have an activist that's been riding around the area for quite some time. And to my knowledge, that he was an activist that was a protege of Dick Gregory. So I'm gonna stop there. Okay, so I'm gonna stop there, and I'm gonna get back, go start back to the beginning here because I want to know exactly what started this and what to expect and how can just we need to know. What you think, huh?
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Okay.
We definitely want to know, Candace, what kicked off the beef. Not only what kicked off the beef, but what did you discover? You know what I'm saying? In the process of not only defending, your personal character, but also defending your activism against, accusations that have arose by this activist that we're talking about. And I like to name drop. So the activist that we're talking about in this particular day, Candace, is Ricky Jason. And so our audience would like to know, what kicked up the dust, what's going on.
Yeah.
well, let me start off by saying this. First of all, it's not a beef because he's a bottom feeder. I don't deal with bottom feeders. Okay. But what ended up happening with this situation was that this guy has always been poking the bear. He's been poking the bear, talking mess about QUANELLE X for years, which everything that he says can be debunked, right? This was even way before I even got with QUANELLE X, right? Because I seen some of his stuff. And so I brought it to QUANELLE X, and QUANELLE X had the receipts to debunk everything that he was saying. So I'm like, okay, so we dealing with a cloud chaser. Got it. So then I ended up coming to Beaumont in regards to the Christopher Shaw case because I was summoned by Michael Cooper, and then also myself and Bishop Barbers. We all came down there. And so,
Right. So this was at the beginning of the case.
right, the beginning of the
Okay.
2022, right?
Right.
So it didn't dawn on me who this guy was because the first question that came out of my mouth was, who is this? Right? Like, who is this guy? Because now I know I will see Chris, I will see Tony, I will see Mike, I will see pretty much everybody that's been in the beginning from the marches on down. And then I've never seen this guy. So he just gave me like a nice little grin and just kept going. So I'm like, oh, okay. I just left it like that.
Yeah.
And probably about a couple months later from that time, I'm like, wait a minute. This the guy that was at Michael Cooper Church. So he got a lot to say behind his keyboard. And so I brought it to Brother Cornell, and I was like, Brother Cornell, this dude is talking a lot of trash. Like, what are we going to do about this? And Brother Cornell was more or less like, I'm not going to entertain the brother. I'm going to leave it like,
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? Because see, Brother Cornell is so modest. Like, if it would have been in his heyday, the dude probably would have been beat up already. You know what I'm saying? But Cornell is, I haven't got to that level yet. I haven't got to that. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, ugh, right? So I had got into it with a young lady that was in Bryan College Station who I exposed as well for being a liar and a clout chaser and things like that. And so he decides to jump in and say some things. And sir, you don't even know me. Clearly you don't know Cornell. And it's like you just over here just talking stuff about people. So I called Brother Cornell that night and I was like, okay, now he going a little bit too far now. So do you want me to get him or not? And so Brother Cornell was like, get them. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So by this time, me and my research team got together. Then, of course, with other research people that's in the Beaumont area, who is completely annoyed by this guy. This guy goes into city council meetings. He goes into attacking politicians and things like that. And he loved to use Dick Gregory's name. But what he failed to realize is, who knows Dick Gregory children? That would be me. Okay. So I just find it kind of weird for someone to say, yeah, and I am the protege of Dick Gregory. Okay, that sounds real weird. Like, got it. So then we end up doing some further research, and he shows up at a city council meeting in 2023 in Beaumont and several other meetings that we got videos of. And so when I looked at the rules and everything that you all have in Beaumont, like you have to be a resident in Beaumont in order for you to speak on that city council.
Not necessarily so, but you do have to provide factual information. You could come from Iowa if you want, and speak at Beaumont City Council with your Iowan address.
Correct.
Right. You have to put your Iowan address. And if Ricky Jason, lives in or, resides around Beaumont, he has to put his legal residential address. And on the city council form that we fill out, it states that all information you have provided is factual and that you acknowledge that this is a government document. And so that's, sort of kind of what I was telling, Tony and things. We're as Beaumont residents, we are known that, Ricky Jason lives at 1075 Magnolia Avenue, 77701, I think it is. And so we noticed on your podcast or on your social medias that you did pull up to that address, that address that he gives that he has wrote on the form, as well as that he is given over the recorded session at City Council. But 1075 Magnolia Avenue is a vacant lot.
Right. And so the thing was, when we did further research on it, I'm like, wait a minute. So this dude knowingly lied on a governmental document. Okay. You knowingly lied and gave an address where it's an empty lot. So I wanted to know where his treehouse was.
Let me ask you this. Wait a minute now. So Chris, explain again to me so I can be. Now, why would he give a fake address here in Beaumont?
My
to
question
to get government.
I don't. No, I mean, because again, according to the open records request, you could live anywhere in the United States of America and, do an open records request from the city to the city of Beaumont, right?
Right.
Whether it's to the city clerk's office or to the Beaumont Police Department, anybody can, do an open records request according to the Open Records Act, right? And so, just like I mentioned to Candace, you don't have to necessarily be a Beaumont resident to even access those records. So why would someone falsify that information to the city government as to, I live at XYZ address and,
it's a vacant lot. And
right.
Not, that lot is not registered to him at all. So
no,
where
according
is
to JCAD, Tony, that's not even a legitimate address.
None.
That just gives you, how, like, say for instance, there was maybe an apartment duplex or something of that nature at that address back in the day. That's the only reason that 1075 would come up, is because there was probably a 1074 and a 1075, right? Like I said, as a duplex or something of that nature. Maybe I don't know.
One thing. So that's one thing we exposed. We just can't figure out why the reason.
Well, based on it's connected to Richard's restaurant. That's what it is. Okay.
Right.
So the
Okay.
thing is, I wanted to know maybe he had a tree house in there. So, let's get some clarification if he got a tree house and stuff.
Okay, I'm following you.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, right? Because
Right.
we got direct video where you
Right.
clearly dry lied about your address. And then you clearly dry lied about being a protege of Dick Gregory, because Dick Gregory's kids don't even know you. And then
Oh,
on top of
wow.
it, why would you turn around and make a statement like, and I am the protege of Dick Gregory? Man, shut up. Because we know you a damn lie.
So wait, Candace. Wait. Wait. So in your video, because I follow Dr. Candace Matthews on Instagram, and I pay attention to a lot of the information that she brings, a lot of advocacy that she brings to the table as well. And so what you're saying is that the other day when you posted the phone call, I think you were either at home or in a restaurant, but you were talking to a gentleman on your social media that you recorded over the phone. And this was Dick Gregory's youngest son, if I'm not mistaken.
No, not
Uh,
it was
okay.
it was the one who put the statement out. He also put a written statement out by
Oh,
stating
wow.
that no, his father did not have a protege. Now, granted that his father has touched a lot of people's lives.
Right. I did see that also.
Right, but there's not no one protege. And so let me tell y'all something. Mental illness is real, people. I'm just being real
It
about it.
is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I can say about this Ricky Jason guy was that he did do a documentary with James Byrd back in 2008. He absolutely did. After the fact that they actually did a movie about what happened, but okay, cool. Then you end up getting some sound bites from Dick Gregory to be on this documentary. So by him doing sound bites on your documentary, all of a sudden now you the protege, man, stop it. Then you're taking pictures with this man. You're using this man's name. This man was an icon, a civil rights icon. He is now dead and deceased, and you're still using this man's name. That is weird as hell.
No, let me ask you this. Are those pictures that we see, are those photograph Photoshop of him with Dick Gregory?
I put nothing past it, because if you lied about your address, what else have you lied about? And so my thing is this: it's like, that's just like I'm in the realm with Reverend Jesse Jackson. I'm in the realm with Bishop Barbers. I'm in the realm with all of these civil rights icons, as well as Ben Hall and everybody else, right? So you see me saying that I'm the protege of those people.
Of Jesse Jackson, right.
You
Right.
stand on your own merit. You know what I mean? And so he got a lot of the white people scared down there in Southeast Texas for nothing. Okay, because like, what you think you about to do? Who you about
Well,
to
I don't know, Candace. I don't know. I beg to differ because also in your research that you've uncovered that most of our local medias, newspapers included, and that also means our news media like 4, 6, and or 12, and maybe even the Christian station knows that Ricky Jason is a con.
Well, see, you know what I find interesting?
Wow.
But look here, I find interesting that everybody is saying this about this guy, right? So my question is this: why would you want to come and try to clout chase me out of all people? Because I'm gonna dig everything up about you, everything. And so this was basically what I consider clout chasing gone wrong, because you thought that you was going to try to drag me into an obsession that you have with Brother Quanelle X. And I'm not Brother Quanelle X. I'm going to pull up on you. Brother Quanelle going to show you grace. I'm not. Okay? And then what I found interesting was that you didn't think that we were going to find out where you live. Really? Really? So you thought I was just going to let you sit up here and talk about me like that and lie on top of that, and I wasn't going to pull up on you? Sir, everybody knows who you are now. You got a whole remix video out here. Everybody know who you are. It is clout chasing gone wrong. I even got phone calls, guys, from the hood dudes in Port Arthur. Majority of them are my cousins, but the other ones that wasn't said the same thing. This guy gets a disability check. Okay, he goes to the gambling shack at the first of the month. Again,
So he's not a
he's not credible.
he's not credible. Okay, he's not an activist. So what
Oh,
is he doing? He's portraying or impersonating an activist for what reasons besides clout?
I think it is clout, and I think it's mental, in my opinion, because anybody that keeps saying, I mean, I looked at several videos with this guy. He doesn't look like the sharpest knife in the drawer. But then what I also found with this guy, what he tried to do to Christopher Shaw, he tried to shake this man down and wanted Christopher Shaw to do a documentary. And Christopher Shaw said no, he was not going to do a documentary. And he turned around and said that, okay, well, I'm going to tell the DA everything I know, and I'm going to tell the judge everything I know.
Okay, stop right there. So I want the audience to know. So some know who Christopher
Yeah, right,
is.
Tony. I'm glad you
right.
paused that conversation
Right. I want
because
you to pause. I want
this
everybody.
podcast and many of us that that engage with you, Tony, on this podcast knows the story of Christopher Shaw, which is the gentleman, the 40-something-year-old gentleman that was dumped on his head by a Beaumont police officer while in Jefferson County's corrections custody. And so, Candace, if I'm hearing this correct, the same gentleman that he was allegedly advocating for, which is Christopher Shaw, who is also in pictures with Bishop Barber, with Michael Cooper and other groups and organizations that we had gathered that particular day to expose the atrocity that we found out of what was going on, including Christopher Shaw's legal representatives. They also were there, and so what you're saying is that Ricky Jason wanted to get a documentary, tell Christopher Shaw's story, however that case may have, however that may have looked to Ricky Jason, and proposed it to Christopher Shaw. Christopher Shaw rejected, and Ricky Jason then turns and says, as the advocate that he is supposed to be, mind you, well, I'll expose you to the district attorney's office. I'll expose everything you're saying and or everything you're doing to the judge that's presiding over your case. I'll expose you to the Jefferson County Sheriff's office about, whatever, something that could have possibly been fabricated. Because mind you, at this particular time, Christopher Shaw was already in the courts, already under, what we would consider under oath, because that was already an ongoing case. Right. And not to mention, Candace, how was he going to be able to do a documentary? And Christopher Shaw is under a gag order by the same bench that that put a gag order on him. He can't speak to the public and he can't speak to the media.
Let me correct you on
now pick up Candace.
I talked to both of Christopher Shaw's legal representatives, and he's not under a gag order.
Okay.
Not. Okay, because I talked to attorney Harry Daniels. I talked to him this week, and not under a gag order. However, this guy had an ulterior motive. See, when you are in activism, you do not get into activism with an interior motive. You get into activism to help and to raise the issues, because it's only certain stuff that lawyers can do in the courtroom without them trying to go for their law license. But when you have activists, we are on the outside that are professional tree shakers to bring this to public opinion and we can also raise the awareness. And so what this guy has done, he was not doing it in good faith. He was not who he say he is. And I'm gonna be honest, I got a couple private investigators right now looking into this guy because it was also brought to my attention that allegedly he messed with little boys. So we about to find out some more stuff. And also it's brought to my attention that allegedly that's not even his real name. So we're going to be looking more into this guy because let me tell you something. One thing that I don't like imposters. That's what I don't like. I don't like people who prey on the weak or prey on people so you can turn around and get a benefit out of it. That's not okay. And this guy clearly lied. I exposed everything on this dude, that he cannot be trusted and he's a known liar. So why are you running around? And see, I guess this is my issue. A lot of the main people knew that this guy was fraud or whatever, but nobody really dealt with him until he dealt in my umbrella. And when you dealt in my umbrella, everybody finna know. The entire state of Texas finna know. The entire United States about to know who you are. Okay? Even Dick Gregory children know who this guy is. Okay?
Oh, wow.
The thing is, so when we end up going to the house, Tony, he didn't expect that. He didn't expect for that bullhorn to be in front of that house on 10th.
Well, let me ask you this: now, where do this guy live? I mean, he has so many addresses.
Port Arthur is
Port Arthur. He lives in Port Arthur. Okay.
Yeah. And we were able to find out. Because see, what this dude didn't know, we got a research team, bro. Like, we can find anybody. I don't care if you under a rock, we gonna find you.
But I'm not.
I don't know.
To defend Ricky Jason right now, I'm as a benefit of doubt, I'm going to ask this question. Okay. Now, what one of the reasons he approached you and QUANELLE X is that he discovered that a few complaints against you and QUANELLE X about by charging people a fee. Of course, you're going to have to charge somebody, but I charge a fee and that being legal.
Okay.
So explain that to me, us, really.
Let me explain that to you. So QUANELLE, he's been coming at the QUANELLE for years. Okay. And so QUANELLE have that stuff already rectified and won the lawsuits that was brought to him about stating that he wasn't providing services that he was supposed to provide. Okay, we got court documents and everything to substantiate that. QUANELLE's attorney by the name of Ben Hall had all that done, right?
Right.
I got into it with the girl that was in Bryan, Texas, based on a client that I turned around and said that I'm not going to do your case anymore because she did some underhanded things that me and my team was not going to rock with. Okay. Now, mind you, this young lady that's in Bryan, Texas, she was clearly a fan and she didn't accept being rejected because when I did a press conference in Bryan in regards to CPS and she wanted to be at that press conference and I told her no because the previous client before I ended her contract didn't want her there, right? Now, all of a sudden, they best of friends. So then she turns around and goes to this internet crap, trying to find some smoking guns on me. But what she didn't know, we got a whole public apology letter that covers everything because the person that put that stuff up, I sued them and got a public apology letter to back it up. But, you know, that's neither here nor there because by me being a public figure, I have to be able to prove malice. I can't do like a regular civilian and be like, you know what, I'm gonna sue you. No,
right.
What she told me was that debunk everything she says. That's all you got to do. Now, when she proves malice, then that's when we're gonna clamp her down. So when she was doing her little things on social media with hardly no followers, because nobody even follow her ass, but it so happened that Ricky Jason wanted to throw his 2 cents in because see, he tried to do a dog whistle with me a couple months prior and sent me an inbox on TikTok telling me, you need to tell QUANELLE he need to pay the people. First of all, baby, you don't tell me what I tell QUANELLE nothing. Okay? When I'm like this, whoever you have an issue with, that's who you go to. Don't bring it to me. Okay? So I end up I blocked him on the TikTok. Then he emerges again with this girl. Okay. And so that's why I call QUANELLE. I say, QUANELLE, look here. This guy is over here saying that we are conning people. We're conning the poor and all this kind of stuff. First of all, let me tell y'all something. One, this activism work that we do is a business. Okay. I have to subcontract private investigators. I have to subcontract camera teams. I have to subcontract researchers.
Absolutely.
I have to subcontract other activists for them to come off their job. So this is a business.
Absolutely.
There is a budget
Right.
for you to be able to get the results you want.
That's what I want you to explain. Go ahead.
So how can you con
Yeah,
somebody?
that's what I wanted.
Well, let me throw this in. So let me tell y'all this. How can you con somebody when, one, you have a contract that they sign?
Right.
Two, you have an invoice where they know the services that they're getting, right? Three, you also have another document that they sign stating that they're happy with the services that they retain you for. And the contract that me and QUANELLE both have was designed by renowned attorney Ben Hall here in Houston. And no, it's not an NDA, it's a contract. So with that contract, it states how much it costs for you to retain us, like when you're dealing with the consultation fee, then how much we have to charge according to your case. What is it that you want? What is it that's going on with this case? Who do I have to go out and subcontract? Who do I have to bring a research team in? Who do I have to do this? Then also, it has a clause in that contract where it states, now, if we do an assessment and it states that you need an attorney, and let's just say a lot of the people don't know attorneys. We know a lot of attorneys, right? But for us to refer you, you have to let us know for us to refer you, because one, we're not attorneys. We cannot give legal advice. So I'm not getting caught in that rabbit hole.
Right.
So if something that's dealing with an attorney,
Absolutely.
I would tell the client off top, you need a lawyer. And then if you're not able to get a lawyer, let me know. And then I'll look and see if I know anybody that you probably can give a call to. You know what I mean? Like that I could probably refer you.
Somebody that'll take on pro bono or something like that, right?
Yeah, because we also provide resources for people as well. So let's say, like, for instance, we have people that have issues with evictions and things like that. I have a contact that's at Lone Star Legal Aid that I can connect you with. You know what I mean? If you're not able to afford the services that we do. So how can you con people when you have all of these parameters?
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Candace. I'm glad you mentioned, especially Lone Star Legal Aid, because they even have a contract that you would sign in order for them to represent you legally. And that representation, that legal representation, can be offered to you free of charge depending on your socioeconomic status, that they look at.
Correct.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Right. That's right. I just wanted that to be clarified.
Like the public statement that so the public statement that Ricky Jason put out maybe like earlier today or yesterday, it's probably about this long on Instagram, because it was shared to me because I not only follow you, but I follow Ricky Jason as well.
So what he lying about today? What he lying about
well,
today?
Let me see if I can go to my Instagram and pull that up, because I think it's on no.
Yeah, and so my thing is,
let me
on somebody's back, because, like, sir, you haven't even said 2 words to me. You don't even know me, sir. Okay, and for you to fix your mouth and say something about me, you don't even know QUANELLE. QUANELLE will look over you, sir, because you're a bottom feeder. He don't deal with bottom feeders.
So I understand. I just
government agencies. We attack state agencies. We attack the big dog. Those are the type of people we attack. Okay, and so I just got enough of his stuff, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give him the attention that he don't want. I'm gonna give him the clout that he doesn't want.
Yeah, I understand, and I wanted to clarify, your positions, so won't be a misunderstanding or misinformation. Now, to again, I'm in the middle here because I want to keep it that way. Is
Of course.
that should I, I mean, for Rick and Jason's sake, maybe we need to invite him over to see if there is another side of what we need to know from him, because we're getting this from, well, actually, facts. And that's what we're interested in, facts, And
Yeah. Yeah.
so he's welcome if you like to. But at this point, I want to make sure we clarify this. We got understanding, and there's no misinformation that he doesn't have any evidence or proof, no proof evidence of who he says that he is and what he's doing and what his purpose are as an activist.
But what I found quite
So, but we missed something here that I'm thinking about, is that we missed something here on stating that you mentioned one time, Candace, that, we kind of got away from it, is that you wanted to ask, he was trying to extort Christopher,
Christopher Shaw.
yes.
Christopher Shaw.
And
So
that is very disturbing to me. That's what really got me very upset when that was brought to my attention, and that just made me just go straight gutter in front of his house. Because one, Christopher Shaw is someone that is handicapped and didn't ask to be handicapped. Okay.
Right.
Christopher Shaw was a victim of police brutality.
Right.
Shaw did not deserve for him to be laying his own feces and urine for over 18 hours in Jefferson. Christopher Shaw need people to be freedom fighters. Christopher Shaw need people who is going to stand in the gap for him, not for your own personal reasons and gain. That's unacceptable. And then when it didn't go the way you wanted, then you want to try to threaten this man and try to shake him down? I don't think so. That's not okay. And then let's be clear, hell, he handicapped too. He got a little chicken hand. He has a chicken hand. And that's what they call him. They call him chicken hand. That's what they call him. So no chicken hand, you want to get over here and do this to a handicapped man who did not ask to be handicapped. This guy also gets a disability check once a month.
Are we talking about Ricky Jason now, right?
I'm talking about Ricky Jason.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he got a hand like this, and they call him chicken hand, because that's what they call him in Port Arthur, the chicken hand. That's his name on the street. Okay. And on top of that, like I said, besides the other names that I gave him, but I gave all facts on this guy.
Okay.
All facts. So anytime, if I'm coming out of Houston to come get on your behind, you best believe I got all the receipts and all the facts. But what I'm very, very disturbed about at this point right now is that I don't believe that's his real name. And we're looking into that. And it was brought to my attention that he allegedly messed with some little boys. And I need to get into that and see what's going on with that.
Ooh, Ricky.
I got a problem with that.
Trouble, Ricky.
I lie about their address. What else have you lied about? And why do you have two first names? Then I even had some of his relatives reach out to me and told me that he is a con and conned them too.
Wow. Well, Unc, what you have on us?
Well, I mean, Candace, I'll be honest. Like you have addressed even the letter that what I'm saying, that was sent to me in my TikTok, and I mean, like it stated everything you mentioned, including some things that I didn't mention to you. So I'm assuming that you are very much so on top of not only your game, but the clients that you represent, right? And understanding that there is, like you said, a contractual agreement between you and your client that not only protects you as the advocate, but also protects their privacy as the complainant, right? And so I will say this: I enjoy the way you move in your authority in the process of advocating for a lot of things that go awry here in in the state of Texas and maybe possibly even nationally, right?
Yeah.
Because I know some worldwide followers, some followers that are the United States. Because of advocacy, and because of your unorthodox approach to some of the individuals, most of the times, we see when you really have to push, like as if somebody's trying to deny you and or your client access, right? And once you have to come from out of the secret, compartment, or come from the secrets of negotiation with that particular entity that your client has a problem with, then as that communication breaks down, then you get the Candace Matthews with the bullhorn. You know what I'm saying? And I love that. I love that Candace Matthews because it's in your face and it's personal. Yeah, that's how I feel about it, Tony. I definitely appreciate, how she approaches the situation with some of the individuals.
There's one thing I also negated to state as well is that when I have my clients, when they, sign their contracts, when they sign the document stating that they were happy with the services that was provided, if you go on my social media, you'll also see them doing a 30-second testimonial. So again, who con and who? Who's doing any of this? And then even the young lady who I represented in Bryan, Texas, she did a damn testimonial. And how I have it, they sent it to me. I don't use my phone. They send it to me, and then I post it from their social media. Because one thing about it, people want you to be fair. People want you to be above reproach. You know what I mean? Especially when you're taking people money. Okay? Because I know how I am about my money. I'll go off over $2. Okay? So can imagine how much these people, that we may have to charge according to their cases. So again,
Right.
like everyone knows, because a lot of people think that activists supposed to do this for free. No, 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 no. Because we have a budget. That's just like when Brother QUANELLE shut down a whole freeway in Houston. That required a budget. When I shut down the entire state capitol in Austin, that required a budget because I had to get other people and I had to employ homeless people so we can have the numbers to surround that capitol. You see what I'm saying? It's
Correct.
a budget with this.
Correct. As well as security. People, like you said, people are not aware of what all goes into activism, right? You Security is engaged. I mean, as a member of several groups and organizations around the city, including the NAACP, not just name dropping, but there is. I'm sorry.
I'm a member of that organization as well.
Absolutely. And so like as we engage with our community, as we, move about with different advocacies, right? Whether it's travel, whether it's security, whether it's printed material, whether it's, having something posted in the news that will other than a PSA, PSAs are about this small in a newspaper, but this if it's something that you really want to grab the community's attention, you have to pay for that ad space, right? Including websites, including, the I'm sure your Instagram and your other social medias are paid accounts so that you can move and flex your muscle a little bit different than a free account. Same goes for like I said, having some of these meetings with some of your clients. People, like you said, people are not aware of what all goes into it. But
Yeah.
with that being said, let me address Miss Lillian Brown's question right fast in the comments. So Miss Lily, Ricky Jason is the gentleman if you can recall back in council, that especially when this process or this situation happened with Christopher Shaw, he's the gentleman that would go to city council and ask for the recordings. You know, he would ask for the tapes. He would put his sign on and request for the tapes at the podium of city council. I think that you could go back and reference that maybe August of 2023 on the
Yeah,
City of Beaumont's YouTube
August
channel.
23.
Um,
Yeah, it's August
yeah,
of 23. And this is the guy
right.
who always said that he is the protege of Dick
The
Gregory.
protege of the late great
He's a
Dick
damn liar.
Gregory, and I quote that, he would say that, you know, that he is the protege of the late great Dick Gregory. He's
But
also the dark gentleman with dreads.
well, let me say, this dude,
Yes,
that's
ma'am, Miss
why I
Lillian.
had my camera team when I was in Port Arthur on Wednesday. Because you know he did a video.
Uh,
He did a video and said that I said that I was gonna flatten his tires, that I was gonna slash his tires. So I'm like, you didn't see all them camera people out there? Oh, okay.
oh wow, oh wow, and not to mention, you know, like you said, many individuals on social media have remixed, have shared the you know, the original video. Again, like I said, they've remixed it. You know, they've included, you know, some of their own particular characters or caricatures with your voice in the background. That's just how much I follow you know, Candace Matthews or Dr. Candace Matthews on you know, social media. um and you know, some individuals are even bold enough to tag or at Ricky Jason in some of their, you know, at some of those videos. So um yeah,
I just
I honestly will say I appreciate your honest advocacy and how you maneuver, because not only is it safe and secure for documentation, but it's also combating those individuals that, you know, that come against you and try to spread lies and
Yeah, right,
falsify
right.
information.
This is why I wanted to clarify, and I was so engaged in allowing you to come on the show when you requested, because I want folks to know that you're doing it as a dedicated person. You're dedicated to it. You're not. It's not no show. This is not no put on. This is the real deal. The hammer,
this is
Doctor
real activism. This is real work. Like let me,
Doctor.
I didn't got death threats. Okay, you can Google it.
Oh, also Candace, in his dissertation that was posted on TikTok,
If that's what you want.
it said, yeah, that's you know, I'll call it a dissertation. You know what I'm saying? But he also said that your degree or your title, doctor, is falsified. Can you go in on that first,
Clarify
please?
quickly, because we only have about 5 minutes left. Go ahead.
First of all, I have 3 honorary doctorates. I have 2 doctorates in seminary, and then I am enrolled for my 3rd doctorate through Walden in public policy. And if you look at my degree from Texas Southern University, because I have an executive master's from them, my executive master says Dr. Candace Ward Matthews. So they also recognize those schools. So if my stuff was fake, how in the hell I got all that?
That's it for me, Tony. I mean, like, that
Ah,
was the only questions that I had. I mean, and you know,
It's accredited university. It's a
yes, it
HBCU.
right,
is.
they are.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
And
is.
you can't just walk up in there with no chicken hand degree.
I hear you.
I
Candace,
walk in there.
the hammer, Dr. Candace, the hammer Matthews, everyone who's has given us a detailed evidence of things that's going on right here in our backyard in Southeast Texas. We appreciate you and your work, and also your child.
One last thing, Candace.
Yes.
What kind of cigar is that you smoke for the haters?
Oh, that would be the Year of the Dragon, Rocky Patel.
Ah,
Thank you for
yeah.
that.
Hey, I want everybody to know this. I want to make sure we address this. Coming this September the 5th, Thursday at 7 p.m., the Jefferson County Democrat 2024 Blue Gala, entitled "United and Unified," is featuring Congresswoman Maxine Waters at the Holiday Inn and Suite at 3958 Interstate 10 South and at Walden Road here in Beaumont, Texas. That's Thursday, September the 5th, Thursday at 7 p.m. That's September the 5th. I'm sorry, that's on a Thursday at 7 p.m. We want to encourage everyone to participate and come out and hear this woman who's been in Congress over 35 years. So let's get involved because we need to get involved in our voting rights and know what's going on here in this United States of America. So now that I'm gonna move this out the way, and I'm gonna get back and thank our good friend, Dr. Candace Matthews. Thank you so much for joining us. Also, I have a show this evening with at 7 o'clock, our regular Knowledge is Power podcast show at 7 o'clock with the Port of Beaumont Commissioner, Georgine Guillory. So join us at 7 o'clock this evening also as well. Thank you, Aunt, for coming on board, giving us your beef and your knowledge and
Hey
your
man, I had to.
because
It's been a minute. You know what I'm
it's been a
saying?
while.
And I
Yeah.
had to jump on, man.
Yeah, that's good. I appreciate you. So Candace,
You
absolutely.
just need to stop lying. Stop lying, Ricky Jason. You've been exposed, sir. Stop it.
Oh, stop it, Ricky.
Well,
She says stop it, Ricky.
And if you come on this show, I'm gonna be on this show.
Oh shit. Okay.
So
All
you
right.
smoke, I'm gonna
Well,
give all gas, no brakes.
I'm gonna send out an invite to him, and if he chose to come on the show, on the podcast, I will definitely get with you so that we have side A and side B on the same show. So with that said, we thank you everyone watching and listening to Knowledge is Power podcast. Join us at 7 o'clock p.m. to our regular show. And we're glad to have you all joining us and being with us. We thank you so much. God bless you. I love you all.
yeah.
Thank you for watching Knowledge is Power Podcast Live. Be sure to like and subscribe to all Knowledge is Power social media pages.